What's up, guys? This is Generic Minority bringing you another Monday Night Raw review for the night of August 10th. And this Raw, whatever. I'm not even gonna do that. Wait till the end. Raw opens up with Seth Rollins, and he is just basically out there making fun of Cena, but it's a Washington crowd, so I don't know how to feel about them. They're not Tulsa, Oklahoma, though, so that means I at least don't hate them. I'm losing track of my words. He's out there and he's kind of pretty a solid promo, and he's making fun of Cena for having a broken face. Thank God Cena's face is broken, and I hope it remains broken. In fact, I hope he's so jacked up he can't come back, because he's really killing the WWE right now. Tonight, you see like a lot of people coming in, trying to come into their own. A lot more people can come into their own if Cena was not able to come back. But anyway, that's just my own opinion. Seth Rollins is talking. He gets interrupted by Cesaro. Cesaro starts talking. They argue. They get interrupted by Kevin Owens, and then all three of them get interrupted by Randy Orton. Cesaro, Randy, and Kevin Owens all want title. They're basically talking about open title match from last week, saying that should continue into this week, and that all three of them deserve a title match. In point of fact, neither one of them do, because all three of them have been losers recently. Kevin Owens even goes as far as to say how Seth tapped out, but it's never addressed about the fact that he tapped out, because I think that WWE is trying to bury that, because people were not happy about him tapping out to Cena. Honestly, I truly do believe that Cena getting his face broken was karma for that. Like, that's what that was. It was like, alright, you know what? Come on. Because I don't want to ramble, but I will say that it would make more sense if Kevin Owens was United States Champion and feuding, and he could feud with Randy Orton, and feuding with Cesaro, and then he can move on to Randy Orton, and, you know, then you got, like, guys like Dean, sorry, I'm touching the mic, and then you got guys like Dean and Dolph if he ever gets back on his feet. And when I say back on his feet, I mean career-wise, not actually injuries. He's out filming a movie. If he can ever get over enough again to get a shot at the United States title, Kevin Owens has a couple people to face. And one of them could be Cesaro. Like, the Cesaro Kevin Owens feud would matter slightly more when you have Cesaro, a former United States champion, going up against Kevin Owens, but instead they want to keep Kevin Owens down to feud with Samoa Joe, who you could just have him not do that down in NXT, have him do that on Raw, because it'll be new and interesting, not rehash it when it comes up to the main roster, and have Samoa Joe try to step in the U.S. title shot, or be the one to take it from him, you know, like, because they never settled their confrontation down in NXT, then Samoa Joe comes up to the main roster to settle it. I don't know, maybe that just makes too much sense, but anyway. And Cena would not have been hurt by losing the U.S. title cleanly to Kevin Owens, and he would not have been like... WWE believes that it would have made him look weak, or Vince at least, believes that it would have made him look weak going into this feud with Seth Rollins, and he couldn't be more wrong. It literally... Look at Chris Jericho. It doesn't matter who Chris Jericho faces. He never looks weak going in a feud, even though he has not won a single feud since his second return with that whole, some people thought it was, that whole with the little kids promo, doing the whole not talking thing. Like, he's not won anything, not that I can remember at least. And, but, you know, once again, maybe that makes too much sense. But, they all won title matches, and they get interrupted by Triple H, who announces that it's Kevin Owens versus Cesaro versus Orton, and the winner gets to face Seth Rollins in the main event for the WWE Championship, in the main event of this night's Raw, and for the WWE title. And that's pretty much the end of that segment. Next, we get on commentary is Team PCB. It was Paige, Charlotte, and Becky, because they changed the name because of all the tweets about the submission sorority. Even though they somehow managed to make a worse tag team name because this one's just boring. Isn't PCB the name of the school that Jamie Lynn Spears goes to on her when she was on that show Zoe 101? It's like Pacific Coast Academy. Like, why do I know that? Don't ask why I know that. It just struck a chord with me. I remember hearing that a lot because my sister watched this stupid show. Anyway, yeah, it's like, so Team PCP is on commentary. No, I'm not changing what I said. The Prime Chick players are on commentary. They also have... I'm not going to make the joke. They also have Darren Young on their team. So the Team PCP is out on commentary, and it's a triple threat match, or triple threat, a 6-woman, 6-person, 6-chick tag match. Team Bad versus Team I Wish Bray Died in the Womb. And since we're all changing names, I mean, why call it Team Bella? Why not call it Team... I mean, every other team has something related to everyone, but it's like Alicia Fox gets to be the odd man out because she's part of Team Bella. Why not just call it Team I Wish You Died in the Womb? I mean, that's applicable to everybody in that group, and it makes sure that nobody forgets that Nikki Bella said that in a promo that she wished Bray died in the womb, and that WWE just completely tried to throw that aside like it didn't happen because shitty writing. So Team Bad versus Team I Wish You Died in the Womb. To make a long story short, Tamina eats a pin at the hands of Brie Bella because Washington is the only place Brie can get over because she's married to Daniel Bryan. That's it. So long as she keeps waxing Daniel Bryan's mustache, not his mustache. As long as she keeps waxing Daniel Bryan's, I'm just gonna say hair. As long as she keeps his hair nice and warm, she'll get cheered. Even though she was doing his moves and they looked terrible. She just looked terrible. Like, the Divas Revolution can never like, for anyone who's all about this Divas Revolution stuff, the Divas Revolution cannot happen until Total Divas stops being a show, because all the focus is on Total Divas and not the Divas Revolution. I can almost guarantee that next season they're going to try to put Sasha, Charlotte, and Becky on the show and drop Alicia, and I don't know who else they dropped. Hopefully Eva Marie, because who cares? Unless they already dropped her. I don't remember who else is on there. But they'll probably try to drop. They'll keep Nettie because people want to know what's going on with Tyson. But, I mean, they'll probably try to add Charlotte and Becky. Maybe not Sasha Banks, but definitely try to add Charlotte just because she's Ric Flair's daughter. Yeah, so Tamina eats a pin for no reason. Because Daniel Bryan, they're in Washington, and it's the only place where Bree's going to get over. And all three teams brawl it out, but Team PCP, I call them Dorm Invasion, because when they were called the Submission Sorority, it sounded like that porno with Sarah J and Christy Mack, the Dorm Invasion, where they just go into dorms and bang dudes. So I'm calling them Dorm Invasion. I don't care if they change it into PCP, PTP, PCB, MTV, Cribs, Submission Sorority. I'm calling them Dorm Invasion from now on. It's canon. Everybody get your hashtag Dorm Invasion at the real Paige on Twitter. Get it ready. But Dorm Invasion and Team Bad stand on top, and you know, Nikki holds up her title, which is wasting space. Interesting. Next. God. They did it. They managed to do it. They somehow managed to get me. We get the New Day versus the versus Los They Don't Matter Any Door They Don't Matter Dories. And the New Day win, and by God, Big E dancing got me, because I miss Big E's Instagram, and all all of his online presence and everything. I miss that so much that they got me to I just called them the New Day. I didn't even call them the New Slaves. It's written in my notes, but I just called them the New Day. The New Day won. Big E and just their antics and everything, it got me behind them again. So you know what? The New Day, I still don't like the gimmick, but you know what? those guys, they're making it money for me at least. So you know what? I'm glad they're the most like they're the most entertaining people on WWE right now. Like I don't get bored watching them. I'm just kind of like I hate the gimmick, but at the same time they've managed to be entertaining. I want to hate the gimmick really badly, but I can't. Backstage, Seth is being a wiener boy, but Triple H says, that was the end of the match. That's all I care about. The Los don't matter anymore. They don't matter. Backstage, Seth Rollins is being a wiener boy, but Triple H says stop being a wiener boy, and Seth didn't think about it that way, so he does. Next, Kevin Owens versus Orton versus Cesaro. It's a solid match that's won by Randy Orton. It was your typical like triple threat. It was everything and slightly less because it was Randy Orton. Not that I hate Randy Orton, but because it needs to be slightly different because it's Randy Orton. But it was pretty much the same match that was Cesaro, Rusev, and Kevin Owens, except Kevin Owens doesn't leave. In fact, Cesaro ate the pin, funny enough. Not Kevin Owens, so that means they want to still keep Kevin Owens safe, which is fine, but, you know, he should be U.S. champ, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, Randy wins, so he's going to the main event to face Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship. Next, we get Dean versus Luke Harper. The Idiot Fringe versus the, I don't even know, the Dirty Tank Top. Anyway, Luke Harper wins, and he needed to win because after last week with them laid out on the ground, the Wyatt family was looking weak. So, you know, that's a thing. Next, we get the Miz TV with Daniel Bryan. Basically, it's just there for Daniel Bryan to get super, like, people to go on Yes Chance and Miz to get some heat. And, they get interrupted by the Big Show. And he's, you know, saying, people start chanting, you need to retire, yada, yada, yada. And then, Big Show says, who you gonna get to retire me? And then it's met by the theme song of Ryback, who comes in and kills everyone and stands on top. So he's going to be defending the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam, which is great. Next, we get Rusev versus Mark Henry. And Mark Henry is waving his U.S. attire, wearing his U.S. attire, waving the U.S. flag. Lana's on commentary, and I don't care at all. Wake me when I care. To make a long story short, Lana goes in and smacks she doesn't smack Summer Rae. She pulls off the ring and like knocks her down. But Summer Rae tosses her in the ring. You think Rusev's gonna beat her up, but instead Summer Rae beats her up and then puts her in the Accolade. And Summer Rae is unattractive, and that's all that matters. I don't find Summer Rae to be attractive, mostly because I find her dressed like Lana even makes her even uglier, because Lana has a way better body than she does. Especially for the whole, like, business suit attire. Like, Lana just looks a lot better than she does. And Summer Rae looks weird with Rusev. She looks like she's trying to be, like, after you have Lana, you can't, like, it's, once you go Lana, you're not gonna wanna kiss Summer Rae with her big bird nose. I'm sorry, listen, Summer Rae is an attractive lady, but she clearly is attractive. I just don't find her attractive. That's just me. It's for the same reason that Declan likes Nikki Bella. I can't explain it. It just is. All right, you know, I'm sorry people are upset about it, but hey, what are you gonna do? Next, we get Neville, and he's facing Burger King Barrett, and none of that matters because the whole point is for Stardust to come out and get into the Green Arrow's face and smack him or something. He mushed him, which, I mean, any real nigga from the streets tell you a nigga mush you gotta beat the nigga up. You know what I'm saying? I feel a Green Arrow. You know, you can't let another dude mush your face and then just walk away. You know, another dude put his palm on your face, it's over. But basically, this is just to announce a SummerSlam. It's going to be Stardust and Burger King Barrett versus the Green Arrow and the Red Arrow, Neville. I don't care. Wake me when I care. Next, finally we get Randy versus Rollins for the WWE title. It's your atypical wiener boy Rollins match. He's a wiener and tries to escape, but Orton keeps cutting him off at the pass, and he hits him with a springboard. I don't know how to explain springboard. Seth Rollins sprung off the top rope, and Orton hit him with an RKO, but that's interrupted by he tries to go for the pin, but gets interrupted by Sheamus, who was backstage acting like a Irish brute. He was acting brutish with his nose ring. I honestly believe he's just not been in matches because of his nose ring. That's not true. I think the septum piercing is fine. He's kind of old for a septum piercing. I don't know if he's always had it, but if he just got it recently, he's like 36. It's a little bit too old to be getting a septum piercing, even for your look as a wrestler. It's just like, actually, I think that's a lie. It is for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because he's playing Rocksteady, which is great. Oh, by the way, I love Bebop and Rocksteady. Especially in the new this new 3D Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, whatever. Yeah, I believe he's playing Rocksteady in the movie. Yes, he's Rocksteady, the Rhino, and Bebop is the Boar. That's how you know the difference. Rocksteady, the Rhino, and Bebop, the Boar. Bebop and Rocksteady. Anyway, I always thought Rocksteady's Russian in the new show. Now, anyway, I'm rambling. Finally, it gets interrupted. Sheamus, Rocksteady hits the bro kick on actually Sheamus. We're gonna call it bro kick Rocksteady from now on. Book it. It's a gimmick now. We're pushing that for SummerSlam. Sheamus hits the Rocksteady on Seth Rollins. He goes to go cash it in, and it's clearly like there was a couple botches in the match, and this was like a botch finish. Like Sheamus keeps saying, I'm cashing in, but you can clearly see him holding on to the case. I think it would have been better if, and granted you can't work around this, but it would have looked better if when he bro kicked Seth, he rolled out of, like, Seth went out of the ring, and then that could have been what, maybe it was just, I don't know who was late on what cue, like just waiting for Orton. Was Orton just, he took too long, Sheamus tried to do the cash in thing too soon, whatever. But yeah, that was a bad thing. But Randy Orton hits the RKO on Sheamus, and he leaves standing tall, and Seth looks like a wiener boy. They at least could have gave him the win over Orton. I think it would have been fine. I think it would have been just fine to have him pin Orton, because then that means Orton's downtrodden and is the underdog going into what will probably be inevitably a match between him and Sheamus at SummerSlam. And yes, people always think wins and losses matter, but it's a lot more complicated than that. It's how and who, and Orton would have been just fine to lose to Seth clean, and Seth needs clean wins. Randy can lose and he would be perfectly fine to walk into, and this could easily lend into Sheamus treating him like dirt, because he's like, you lost, you can't beat me. I can't do it like a really good Irish accent. That's more Scottish. You can't beat me. I'm the bro kick Rocksteady Sheamus. Like, he's whatever. Declan, I'm gonna need a couple sound clips of you speaking Irish words, and then not Irish words. You speaking in your Irish accent, and then I'll just throw them in whenever I talk about Sheamus. And so just send me those clips. Send me your email address so I can get those, because I want those. Just record them. I don't care how they just say things that Irish people say, and then send them to me. And instead of talking about Sheamus, I'll just play your voice on the show. But yeah, Randy Orton could have lost. I think a clean win, especially because he got the clean win over Adrian Neville. Adrian Neville's going to go into SummerSlam with the Green Arrow, hopefully lose, because why would the Green Arrow, a not wrestler, even though every time WWE gets involved with a not wrestler, the not wrestler always wins. Let's not forget the Kevin Federline versus John Cena thing, which is probably the greatest thing ever, because it involved Joey Mercury and John Cena losing to Kevin Federline. He can't ever live that down. He lost to Kevin Federline. Kevin Federline is awesome. Not really. He's okay. But overall, this Raw is just your atypical Raw. I personally don't care, but obviously the moments of the Green Arrow coming in, he's got a match at SummerSlam, and mostly this is just like a small amount of lead up to next week, which is, everyone's they're really pushing this Taker versus Brock thing, and I personally I don't care about it, but and then they announced the Triple Threat Divas the 9 Diva tag match, so there's a couple things But personally, I feel like SummerSlam as a whole is just going to be an entire show of no matter who wins, everybody loses. And, you know, it's going to be a week. It's going to be a weak SummerSlam. I mean, there have been, not say I don't know. I can't think of off the top of my head of a weaker card for SummerSlam because of the way they book things coming up to SummerSlam. Certain guys aren't champion that should be champion. They can't let go. One, if Cena can't defend, if he was challenged to a U.S. title match, like, if Daniel Bryan, like, the rules are a month. If Cena's out for a month, he's supposed to drop that title according to, like, the kayfabe canon of professional wrestling. But apparently that doesn't matter because Dean didn't defend the U.S. title when he had it for, like, 3-4 months. And Brock doesn't either. Nobody has to defend titles anymore. You just hold them. And Nikki should have been dropped her title. She hasn't defended it in like a month and a half. But she's got to beat AJ's record because Vince's geriatric wang shriveled up when AJ left and CM Punk left. Whatever. Anyway, join me next week. I'll be talking about Raw. Hopefully it'll be better seeing as how... But it's a go-home show. And recently go-home shows, I mean like this entire year, there's not been a single, like I'm talking 2014, even 2014, not a single, for a year now, over a year, there's not been a solid go-home show before any pay-per-view. I can't even remember the go-home show for me. Like, I can't remember anything. That's how mediocre everything's been on Raw. But join me next week when I'll be complaining about that because I got nothing better to do, and for some reason people like to listen to my voice. Peace.